Hello, Demon, and welcome once more to the Neonate Table for Philly by Night. Today we'll be following Mr. Thomas Pierce, but first, a content and trigger warning that this session may contain, but is not limited to, body horror, mutilation, manipulation, gaslighting, use and abuse of disciplines, raised voices, possibility of violence leading up to and including final death, possible methods of torture, starvations and the mentions thereof, and religious extremes and practices. For your safety and your comfort, your ST team has set up a series of emojis in the stoplight system. We'll be doing check-ins as the session goes, and you may either state your color or post the corresponding emoji in the beta chat. If you are yellow, we can do a check-in, we can pause, we can go to decompression. A member of the admin will be with you. If we hit a point at any time where you are red, the scene stops. We pause the recording. We go up to decompression. There's not a request. That is server safety appliance. But anyway, on this night, shortly after finding the now more botanical influenced Primogen strain of Clan Toreador, the next night, Thomas Pierce awakes in his... Where did Thomas stay? Was it the Coterie Haven, or did he go crash out at his sire's apartment?
He went to his sire's apartment.
Okay. So, waking in his sire's apartment, the darkness filling the room as he rouses from his day sleep. And at the foot of the bed stands a familiar face. Dark glasses, leather jacket, fancy rings all over his fingers. Charcuterie mate. Liam. Standing at the foot of your bed, grinning like the cat who caught the canary. Oh, Mr. Petrelli, you're finally awake. Good to see you.
You can get the fuck out of here right now.
Oh, don't be jealous. I mean, it's not my fault that they chose me over you. I mean, after all, if you were a real king, they'd still be with you, wouldn't they?
Yeah, you just keep yapping.
Oh, couldn't save your girlfriend. Couldn't save your dad. Can't even get your blood brother to be on your side. Seems like a tiny king of nothing to me.
Thomas is gonna get out of bed and start heading towards the figure.
This Liam will cackle like the last words out of its mouth before this, like the one before it fades into darkness, is, "Don't worry, I'll take real good care of her this time." And just this mad cackle as it fades into nothing.
I guess Thomas is gonna get ready for the day. He's not happy. Not happy with dealing with that.
Few ever are when faced with this thing that seems to bother them.
So Thomas is going to take the business card. It was his brother's, and go ahead and dial the number.
So, takes out the card, dials the number. After a couple of rings, there's an audible click where you can hear the call be connected. So, you finally decided to get around to calling. Took you long enough.
Yeah, well, I wasn't in the mood to talk.
Do you want to talk? Let's talk.
I'll talk. We got someplace we can meet, somewhere private. We can have a little chat.
And what did you have in mind as for private?
It's called malediction.
Malediction. I think I've heard of it. Nice little club. So, how soon should I meet you there?
Given an hour. Let me make sure everything's ready and our place on the list is assured.
All right. Well, I'll meet you there then.
Just you?
I mean, if you want me to bring Camille, I'm sure she'd love to see you.
Does she now?
Oh, of course. After all, she's the one that brought me. Figured I could talk some sense into you. You know? Maybe at the end of the night you'll see reason and you'll come back home.
My dad is a sneaky bus.
We'll see, Teddy.
Sure we will, Tommy. Sure we will. I'll see you soon.
Thomas is going to hang up and he's going to dial the sheriff.
Dialing in to one Sheriff Sorokin.
Ring, ring.
Who,
Ring, ring. Click. Glitter Patrol at your service for the cost of your soul. How can I help you?
Looking for Sorokin?
You've got her. How can I help you?
Your Sorokin? You're Benny Sorokin?
That's me.
Oh, this is Pierce.
Oh, Thomas. Mr. Pierce. Whichever you prefer.
We still good for having that little meetup?
Yeah, what's your timetable?
About an hour, make sure. I told him about an hour. So I figure I'll get there soon and we'll get everything ready.
Oh yeah, an hour will be great. Just I will put your name on the list plus 1, 2.
Maybe 2. I don't know if he's bringing her.
Yeah, I'll go plus 2 just to be safe. And once your name on the list, essentially after my guys your check-in, they will get Nora Rose to get you to your room. So you don't worry about a thing.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. I guess I'll be seeing you in a bit then.
Yes, I shall. Look forward to this.
I was gonna hang up and just like, why nobody fucking said it was a woman?
Thomas and his male streak of superiority, barely able to keep his mouth shut, I assume.
He's a professional.
Yeah, professional. That's why we stuffed people in dumpsters when we showed up, didn't we?
It was a bad night. Hush.
Yeah. If there was an audio to describe Thomas, I feel like it would very much be that audio of, you have to treat a woman like you treat a car. Go on. No, since I've made a mistake. But you now have Teddy meeting you at Malediction in about an hour. Benny having their stuff set up so you can be escorted back to a VIP room so that this can be a bit more private of a chat. Is there anything Thomas does to prepare or to use up that hour before arriving at Malediction?
Well, Thomas is gonna, take a shower and get ready. He's gonna look really nice in a 3-piece. Couple of guns tucked away.
Okay. And then just heading straight there?
Yeah.
Cruising down the streets of Philadelphia in his obviously refurbished 67 Impala.
Get off.
Pulling into the parking lot for Malediction. A nice club. I don't remember the exact description of it, but there's plenty of neon and just gives the vibe of Den of Sin. I believe that would pass Felber's.
Correct. Red and black, about 2 stories from what it looks like on the outside. Line around the block sort of deal.
So, pulling up into the parking lot, standing not far from this obvious line waiting to get into this place is the familiar face of your kind biological half-brother, Teddy.
Not kind. Oh, looking kind. Right. Got it. Roger that.
Well, he's related by kind blood, not by vampiric blood.
True. Yes. Let my brain catch up for a second. I got it.
So, easy enough to recognize your vehicle as a long smirk creeps up one side of his face as he sees you get out of the vehicle. Kind of just hands in front of him, playing with a ring on his finger, watching you approach. So, frequent places like this nowadays, do you?
Not like I did with Neil. I've got other things I got going on.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you've wasted no time in setting up things and breaking hearts already.
How it goes.
I assume you have some special arrangement with a place like this?
Yeah, I made some arrangements. Got a couple of connections.
After you, dear brother.
Thomas is gonna lead him to the door, I guess.
Of course, Benny's people haven't been notified that you would be here ahead of time and having the Rose escort you back to a VIP room where none of you can be bothered. Yes, the flaming redhead leading you back both into a nice little secluded section of the club. Is Benny here waiting, or is she making a grand entrance after that?
Right as like right as Rose is about to basically is gesturing to the room in question, or the VIP area, basically, she will like see someone, nod quickly to the two of them, and then eventually Benny, and then basically as she kind of backs away, as ghouls do, Benny has not yet been able to kick her of that habit. We are working on it, I swear. Because why not? But Benny, in all of her 5 foot, probably actually no, with those boots she's got on, she's a good 6 foot, 6'1" right now. Muscular, I guess I can't remember if Tom has actually seen Benny. I think he had. But I can't remember. But, actually is in like feminine looking clothes at the moment. Although, still has the shirt underneath the corset, which is doing some work on her rather small chest. So actually kind of impressive. She does have more than Keira Knightley, but not by much. Just for reference here. And everyone in this chat. And she will just smile, and go, I trust everything meets your approval, Mr. Pierce.
Well, worker, appreciate you having us.
She'll look over, basically she'll give Teddy the up and down. And I take it you are Mr. Pierce's guest.
Yes. Teddy. Pleasure.
She'll hold out her hand. Benny Sorkin. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance.
He'd take it and shake it, and he has a relatively firm grip for a guy that seems so lanky.
Excellent.
Thomas
yeah,
is
she
going to give
returns
Teddy a look.
She returns the very firm grip. Doesn't quite, doesn't go for the dominance handshake, but definitely meets for match. So, if either of you need anything, I will be nearby, but I will let you transact your conversation, and if you should need anything else, she'll look to Thomas. Just call.
We will.
And Benny will wander off, but go somewhere and to sit and basically conduct business from the various staff, but within eyesight of us and Ryan's right.
Teddy will kind of slink in and make himself comfortable as he waits for whatever Thomas has to say to him. Kind of sinking back into one of the bench seats, folding his hands across his chest. So.
Where is she, Teddy?
She's on business.
Locally?
Oh, of course. She's in charge of the whole thing.
Still licking her heels, huh?
Well, no worse than you coming here to lick the boots of a false prince.
I don't know where you get that impression, but all right.
I mean, you left Chicago. One minute it's the Anarchs, and now you're in this city under some kind of independent prince.
It was never the Anarchs, Teddy. You should know better than that.
I'd like to believe that, but you left.
One, to keep my head, and two, to go looking.
Well, you didn't notify the board, didn't notify the prince, anybody. What it looked like is you running.
Yeah, I know.
And now we find you here in Philadelphia, recently overthrown and taken by a Camarilla prince that throws his weight in with independents and anarchs and the like.
How things up here aren't always how they are, Teddy. You should know that.
Then tell me how they are.
You should have had my back.
It's hard to have someone's back when they leave you high and dry without a word. First you leave me for that independent Rose. Then you come back and you leave again.
She got you all messed up, didn't she? We talked. You don't remember. She fucked you up.
She hasn't done anything to me.
I can't believe that.
Either way, I don't expect you to own up to the things you've done, Thomas.
I haven't done anything. Except leave. When you didn't have my back.
Then there's a simple thing you have to do. Come back, face Prince Jackson, tell him, make sure he believes it, and everything will be right as rain. Prove to him and his council that you're not a traitor.
I don't think I'd have the chance.
I'll take you myself. No Camille, just us. We could leave tonight before she knows.
I can't trust that she doesn't know. But I do need you to answer something for me.
Oh, what is that?
The fuck are you doing not following protocol?
I answer to the Camarilla. This is not a Camarilla city as far as others are concerned. It's a anarch, pretending. They have not claimed praxis, nor they have been recognized. As far as I'm concerned, this city still belongs to Lydia Burke, the rightful Prince of Philadelphia.
How about we talk about whether or not I'm going back with you?
I mean, it would be for the best. Then we could clear this whole mess up.
But I need you to talk to the prince here.
Well, if you see Prince Burke, I'll be sure to talk to her.
All right, if we're going to play that game, then we're going to go talk to the one in charge.
I mean, if I need to go talk to this Baron Sexton, I guess I could do that.
This is no Baron.
I mean, he's no prince either, Thomas.
You got frozen.
Did I?
Or did I freeze? I don't know.
I mean, you're moving. I'm moving on my end.
I am not hearing anything, guys. Oh, okay. Now everything's unfroze. That's weird.
Yep. That was on your end. I was like, I don't know.
I don't know what happened there because I was moving. Nobody else was.
Yep. What was the last thing you heard?
Who's calling him Baron Sexton?
Yes. I mean, he hasn't even claimed praxis yet, Thomas. He's the one not following protocol. As far as anybody else is concerned, he's just an independent or a baron.
Oh, I'm sure things are going on that you're not aware of.
I mean, maybe there is. But can you personally prove me wrong? Do you have that information?
Thomas is going to raise his hand and gesture for Benny.
Benny finishes talking to whatever servers come up to her for whatever, and basically waves them off and sees Thomas's hand and just, glides up, walks over, and will sit down with authority and go, "Yes, Mr. Fierce, how can I help you?"
Appreciate it, Sheriff. Theodore here doesn't seem to believe this is a Camarilla city.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we sent notice to Chicago.
Perhaps it arrived after I left, but I've not received word from anyone back there as to a claim for praxis.
I can assure you formalities have been... What is the word? Taken care of with the crit in the inner circle. They're well aware of our status.
Well, perhaps my higher-ups have failed to inform me of such things, as when I left Chicago, this was labeled as an independent city, at best.
When did you leave Chicago? Out of curiosity, what are the travel times like between here and the Windy City?
Oh, let's see. Made a couple stops,
As
as
you do.
the nights get shorter, the days get longer, makes it a little bit harder to get around.
Is the
Maybe
disadvantage of the summertime in the Northern Hemisphere.
it really is. Let's see. Probably the better half of 3 weeks.
Your higher-ups must really not like you.
Maybe they sent me here to throw me on a pike, so to speak.
They are known for doing that. I will give them that.
Yes. Next sacrificial lamb.
Yes. Well, better to serve my purpose than to run.
Hmm. Yes, I have heard about running.
Yes, I don't know if Thomas has told you about this, Sheriff. That under scrutiny of them leaving the tower and joining the Anarchs, instead of staying and proving their innocence, they ran here to Philadelphia.
There's less running and more going on a quest. Has Mr. Mason not returned to Chicago?
No, no one has come back yet.
Who is Mr.
He's my sire.
Ah, quest for the father figure. Worthy. Don't like mine. He can stay with us. Teach them.
Such is the nature of our kind. Not everyone is gifted with somebody who will treat us the way we deserve or should be so that we can flourish.
So last time that I was in Chicago, Prince Jackson didn't really strike me as the kind to want to hunt for someone who just decided to switch sides. I didn't realize going Anarch was a punishable offense in the tower these days.
Well, it's less a city matter, Sheriff, than a issue with the board. Had it been any other
Family
clan, it
matter.
might have been overlooked.
For the record, I didn't go Anarch.
Then there shouldn't be an issue coming back and proving that. I don't know why there's such a fight. Why so much pushback, Thomas? Just come back.
You know I'm going to lose my head.
Not if you're telling the truth. You know Prince Jackson has people at his disposal that can reach in and pull the truth out.
Start with Camille then.
What about her?
Take her back. Have them pull the truth out of her then.
But they don't want to talk to her. They want you.
And she's the one that accused me. Maybe they
Then-
should check to see if she's telling the truth first.
Then stand in front of the board like we do. Prove your innocence. And if the board finds her slanderous, they will execute her there.
I may not be of family, but Jacob Thomas, perhaps maybe this is something we should
How about
put
what
in front of your Primogen, and he can communicate with the board in tandem with Mr. Theodore here and get things straightened out. Maybe between the two cities we can clear this up. So much of a headache?
If the Board of Philadelphia were to contact and work with the Board of Chicago, I'm sure there could be an agreement made. But, Thomas, the more you push back, the worse you look. You need to make steps with at least this board here to make things right.
All right, things were a little busy when I first got here. I talked to my Primogen, and we'll get things set up to have communication flowing between our two cities.
Yes. And we also need to get you, Mr. Theodore, and your... I understand there's another guest who was here in town with you, at least introduced, so that we may grant you some hospitality. You know, formalities and whatnot.
Well, if a sheriff has been appointed, I trust that perhaps there's some miscommunication about the status of the city, and in fact, you have all done what is supposed to happen, and that perhaps we are being ill-informed. But if this Prince Sexton has done his claims for praxis and followed the Camarilla protocol, then I see no need to refuse that request.
Next. I don't know. I will see if he's available tonight, but otherwise we will get you in on another night. I have a copy of your information Mr. Pierce used you. Is it alright if I set something up through that?
Of course, Sheriff. I'm a guest in your city. I'm not in a position to tell you no.
Thomas just kind of nods like, oh, good, he's smart. And she'll look at Thomas and go, well, I think covered X, Y, and Z. Is there any other business we need to square away with Mr. Theodore?
You need to know where Camille is.
I haven't seen her since we both woke from day sleep. She said she had other business to attend to.
She shouldn't have other business to attend to except for me.
I mean, you have such a way with women, Thomas.
Apparently.
That explains the reaction on the phone.
Oh, did he have a sour reaction, Sheriff?
Yeah.
I mean,
Wasn't expecting it.
My dear brother's always been a bit of a lady killer, but never known him to be rude to those he consorted with.
Rude. Was unexpected.
Always expect the unexpected when you're in one in presence. Should ask Prince about that sometime.
Keep that in mind.
Did you enjoy the orientation packet that I put together?
Glitter. Right. Teddy, let me send you with a parting gift. So, Sheriff, I'm going to give some to my dear brother here. Make him feel welcome to the city.
I mean, if the sheriff has such a endeavor, it would be my pleasure.
Be right back and get you your very own envelope. She's gonna go off and get a or actually she'll wave Nora over because she's got people for this. She's got people for this. So she tries to get up, realizes she's got people. Makes a motion with her hand. Rose comes back over. She whispers in her ear in French, or no, Russian. She'd be defaulting to Russian for this, and tells Rose to come back with a packet that's minus the city services. He hasn't been introduced formally yet, but he'll at least get the information, the stickers, some glitter. So basically the normal regular component packet. And when Rose comes back a few moments later, Benny might have a lot of these pre-packed in her office, just ready to put in the specific things. And it's this vibrant, it's actually a malediction color themed glittery envelope, red and blacks, because we're gonna at least try to be a little for the Ventrue. Rose will hand a packet to Benny. Benny will hand the packet to Teddy. And we put 2 of everything in there for both you and your companion.
Oh,
Enjoy.
I'm sure she'll be thrilled. Thank you, Sheriff.
Of course.
I was just
You
going
like
to sit
to
there
make
and smirk.
We like to make sure that all our visitors to the city of brotherly love feel welcome.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure Thomas had a blast with his. He's kind of looking it over. Hopefully, none got into that nice car of his. But
I don't mess with classic paint jobs.
Mm.
It's one saving grace on that one.
understandable.
I appreciate a nice ride. And she says that with many meanings.
You should have more conversations with Thomas, Sheriff. He has such short stories about that to share. I hear actually one of his old flames is here in the city.
Oh, really now?
Yeah, this Toreador, not a botanist, but a flower keeper. Real headstrong thing.
She's your ex. Fascinating.
She's not my ex.
Oh.
Did you get back together?
Did I say that? No. She can't be my ex if we never had dated.
All right. I mean, if it wasn't an official thing with a label on it, I totally understand.
I mean, labels are so last century.
The sheriff gets it.
Boy, that's got to make working together really interesting.
Working together? Thomas, did you get put into a group with her?
Yeah, so we're working together.
What's that like?
Fine. Better than working with Camille.
I mean, you've done both.
Is that when you're ex too?
Theoretically.
I see what you mean. Benny says, Teddy, I see what you mean.
He has a way with them, Sheriff.
Seems to know his business. They're not all out to kill him, I suppose.
I mean, not yet. The century is young.
It is young. It was only the second decade. Third, really, if you're counting properly.
Right. So this other business with Camille.
I will do my best to talk some sense into her, Thomas. Don't worry. If this city has done everything it was supposed to and we simply were not informed, it is an easy apology to make.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't it?
So hostile. This is a chance for the Chicago board and this newly formed Philadelphia board to build some bridges.
As long as we're building them and not burning them. That's all I care about.
No, if we were to burn them, Sheriff, we'd put somebody special on them.
I'm certain. Never let a good bridge go to waste, I suppose.
Of course. If you're gonna burn a bridge, at least put a hardestat on it. Make it worthwhile.
Teddy
Excellent
is a
taste.
hardestat. Teddy is a hardestat.
Shh. He's a hardestat that knows how to win people over.
Asshole. Thomas is going to look at Teddy like, we can put Camille on the bridge.
I mean, I don't know if she'd ever walk onto a bridge invited.
Speaking of my coterie mates, you going to pay some restitution for that broken window?
What broken window?
The brick that was thrown through the window
What are you talking about?
of her shop. There's a brick with a note tied to it thrown through the window of her shop.
I had nothing to do with anything of the sort.
Signed T and C.
Okay. I mean, I did pay the shop a visit. Figured you might stop back in.
So that was a present from Camille.
If it wasn't me, unless someone's trying to blackmail us.
If it wasn't your counterpart, who else knows about your little tiff that would be in town to make trouble?
I mean,
Ooh.
how do I put this in a way that's acceptable in political company? Thomas is not known for his attraction to safe partners. They tend to be volatile, so perhaps this not X set something up themselves?
That's not something they would do.
I mean, you never know.
Something Camille would do.
So you have a habit, Thomas. You have a type. Next thing I know, you're going to find some, feminine Banu Hakim to go court.
I don't court.
Right. That's right.
I think courting would imply commitment.
Took the words out of my mouth, Sheriff.
I don't
not
know
for
how this
everyone.
is any more obvious. Why would I go court somebody? I didn't court Camille.
No, she hasn't forgotten about that.
You should.
I think she wants you back probably more than Prince Jackson does.
Well, she can stay disappointed then.
If that's true, why isn't she here? You would think she'd want Thomas pretty bad, though. Maybe she slipped in the crowd.
You ever met those women who absolutely know what they want and have the money and power to back it up and will not refuse to do anything that's even remotely sounds like being told what to do, even if it is a request? One of those.
Yes, I see that every time I get up and look in the mirror.
Careful, Sheriff. You might have a deputy. You keep that up. And he shoots a smirk over to Thomas.
Do my job without fucking.
So,
I worked with Santos. It didn't fuck her. Them.
I mean, that's not saying much, but
That isn't much saying much, actually.
saying. But so, if I'm to help you clear your name, you came here looking for your sire. What kind of leads have you made on that so far?
Nothing. All
Okay.
I know is to head east. I got a feeling he might be in the area, but I haven't got anything yet.
Understanding that you've been put into a little group by probably the Prince Sexton's order, and it does that phase correct me if I'm wrong, but without saying it. If you're here for dear old dad, for lack of a better term, maybe take some personal time to follow that up.
We got busy.
It would be beneficial if you had something to bring to show both boards of directors. And it would cement your innocence.
I've got a list of priorities. You were above that.
Well, as much as I appreciate that, taking care of me doesn't take you out of the fire.
One step along the way. I think to look at Thomas. I will see how my schedule is. We might be able to arrange some search and rescue time. Otherwise, I can visit with your shadow and His Majesty, and perhaps we can either see if there are those amongst your group that you help you, or get you a reprieve from your duties so that you can pursue this. Because making sure things stay happy between Chicago and Philadelphia is a priority.
I would agree.
Did the board look into Enzo's disappearance at all? Or was I just, priority number one?
The board is looking into it. However, they would like your testimony as how back-to-back the disappearances seemed strange, as if not purposeful. So, again, it comes down to face the boards, Thomas, prove your innocence, and maybe we can even get resources from the board to find Enzo.
All right. I wasn't thinking clearly.
Well, luckily one of us was. They weren't going to send me to begin with. I conned my way in. Otherwise, Camille had, shined enough belt buckles to have her way.
You mean sucked enough dick.
I was trying to be polite about it, but yes.
There's no need to be polite about her.
And if they sent just her after you, you know how it was going to go. Blackmail to get her way, or your head in a bag in the form of ashes.
Yeah, no. Well, we'll work with the sheriff here and the board and see what I can get straightened out.
Good. And I will make my introduction, and I will strongly ask Camille to do the same if she wants to remain in this city untouched.
That would be fantastic.
Because I will strongly recommend a hunt for her if she does not.
I understand. Luckily, I'm the one that talked them out of doing the same for you. This is a political mission, not a blood hunt. But it was a very thin margin.
Well, that
It broke up. I didn't hear anything. I don't know what's going on.
Teddy had kind of said that this is a political mission instead of a blood hunt, with a tone that basically was like, "You can thank me later."
Thomas is clearly thinking, "Thank you when you get your head out of your ass." Might be written all over his face.
No subterfuge in this.
There are very few members of any of the coteries in the city that invested into subterfuge.
Here.
Benny will look at Theodore and go, well, there's 2 copies of my card. Make sure Miss Camille gets one. I will be in touch. We can get you in front of his men.
Of course, Sheriff. Do either of you have anything further that you need of me?
Thomas is going to stand up and bend over close to Teddy. Did you tell her she keeps her hands off of her? She doesn't have anything to do with her. She doesn't go anywhere near her.
Why does this matter so much?
Because she wasn't supposed to be involved.
Okay, but if y'all aren't together, then what does it matter? She's just another kindred.
Why is my shit not working?
Operation Get Kit a new headset.
Body language is a wonderful thing to be able to read with an score.
Is it any better?
I don't know why everything's breaking up bad.
No idea. But yeah, I don't know if you heard Teddy ask. Yeah, it might be your Discord connection.
It's not. Why is it red?
There it is.
Okay. Keep having to wiggle things around.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's being a jerk.
You got the bad interwebs.
I don't know.
Is there a Lasombra haunting your Wi-Fi? You may wish to shine a light in it.
I was say we don't have any Lasombra mains in the room. Can't blame them today. But essentially, Teddy was like asking, "Why does it matter if you're not together? She's just another kindred."
Because she didn't need any of this. It's not something for her to deal with. And now she's
sighs and hangs his head like, "You still got a soft spot."
She's not like us, Teddy. Doesn't know.
Well, while I understand that, not being one of us is probably even more of a reason not to care. Like, we don't take steps against one another. It's in our code of decorum. That's for the others. Like, they're just people needing to be led.
I can't lead her if Camille does something to her.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Better not.
But one day you're gonna have to admit to yourself, Thomas, that you still got a soft spot for her, whether you want to cover it with politics or not.
Well, maybe I'd talk to you about it. You know, before all this bullshit. Before, Camille got a hold of your ball sack and started squeezing tightly.
I mean, I wasn't the first one, was I?
Camille was nothing. She knew she was meant to be nothing. And yet she tried to change the terms of the deal. That's on her.
And let me guess, you told her to pray that you didn't alter it any further?
Is that a Star Wars reference, man?
I get bored. I watch movies.
All right. She tried to change the deal.
Well, if you could take this, I know I'm beating a dead horse now, but if you take that in front of the board, that's less ground for her to stand on, and it's better for you. Then we don't go back on our deals. We don't double cross. You know that. But we can't help you if you don't tell us. You need to tell the board, not just me.
Did try to tell you. And
I know, but
you
my
didn't have
word
my
only
back.
my word only goes so far.
You went farther than mine there.
But if you would work on your decorum and your dignitas, we can fix that.
And working on it.
Yeah, well, you might want to work on it faster. You know,
We've been a little preoccupied with things.
our archive's not exactly known for being patient.
Just still the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
It's in the blood. What do you want? It's like you and the stuff you got into. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, you don't. She reminds me you should be on your best behavior.
Oh, I am always on my best behavior.
Better.
You ain't gotta worry about me. Should be worried more about, getting to the board and, having to work with whatever label you want to put on her. That sounds like a problem.
Yeah, it's being worked on. Got a lot of shit going on. I'll get it handled. You know I get shit handled.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Well, maybe I don't do it the board's way, but I get shit handled.
Not doing the board's way is the problem.
Well, I'm sure I'll get that sorted here.
There's a reason that, one of the family lines is kind of like slightly ostracized is because they don't do shit by the book. They just go off and start stabbing people.
It's right. Well, we're gonna, get the board together and have a chat about all this, and we'll establish communication as we do.
Good. No. I will go talk to Camille and I will drag her in front of the prince. Is there anything else you need?
You should have promised me you'll keep her in check.
I will do my best.
I don't care what you have to do. You just need her to behave.
I'll make a deal. You do what you should be doing, and I will do what I need to do with her.
And we had already agreed that I was going to do that, so.
Well, there. Now I'm putting some weight behind it. But I will go get her. And at this point, Teddy kind of like straightens himself out. Sheriff, it was a pleasure.
I'll handle everything. I'll get it. I'll make sure it gets set up.
And as he turns to walk away, either and or both of you can give me a wits and awareness. Okay.
How could you forget?
Right. Like, sometimes I'm like, man, Thomas is being a dick. Like, oh, right. He's got 4 hunger. So despite the cacophony of the club as he kind of like opens the door to leave, and as he's kind of like melding into the crowd to exit, you hear something faintly, Benny, about like, I guess they did fix up that fire damage.
Kind of cock her head a moment. How would he know about that sort of deal? But she'll file that away and then look over to Thomas and kind of settle back and go, okay, so on a scale of, 1 to 10, how was that for you?
I don't trust his ability to control Camille.
Okay. Well, if she takes actions against citizens of the city, introduced or not, it's going to result in consequences. So that I can assure you of by the rules of the tower. Did you find his lack of information a little odd, or is it just...
It is odd. I don't like it at all.
Now I'm sure lovely Primogenians has ways of probably contacting the Chicago board independently of going through Mr. Theodore there. But if you have any extra resources, I'm sure our privileges appreciate it. And well, I'll probably be submitting my own little write-up to the prince, or he would enjoy hearing from you on this matter as well.
The prince and the primogen.
Good.
It's because the primogen is so much fun to deal with.
I mean, could be worse. Could be so much.
Could be, I guess.
I mean, he did get Thomas's car fixed and get him that footage.
He did. It was very nice of him.
With that very interesting mask that seemed to pop up on the video.
That Thomas is trying to figure out now. Or delegating other people to figure out for him.
Let's just say it's a good thing you never got to meet someone named Lady Bridgerton. You're better off.
Would Thomas have heard that name before?
You know, let me look at some. Make this a intelligence and wits. Just to see if he recalls the memory. Because I'm looking at his dots, I'm like, none of these make sense. Okay. Do you want to re-roll that one failure that you can re-roll?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. There you go. Because this was about to get real bad if you didn't do that. This is about to beast fail into a clan compulsion in front of the sheriff. That would have gone over well.
So well.
Like, I need to tell somebody what to do. Bruja Sheriff. Fuck you, you do.
Yeah, let's not.
You would have heard the name. It's a relatively older Ventrue that has kind of gone up and down the East Coast a little bit, spending a lot of time in Florida before coming up to Philadelphia, and had recently left. Rumor says to Mexico City, but no one really knows for sure. But there would be also rumors about her origins in London prior to the fall.
Anything about her Mithraean status?
Ah, yes, within the cult. While maintaining a higher rank in the cult, there have been questions about demotion due to the lack of practice within the faith.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who may have climbed the ladder, got to where they wanted to be, and then became stagnant or complacent.
Yeah, that sounds kind of familiar. I've never got the pleasure of meeting her though.
Pleasure is a strong word. Anyways. So, tell me about this Camille. She seems volatile. Your family? Not? Different family?
Yeah, my family. It wasn't a real relationship. It was a cover. She took it seriously, though.
And what about this deal he was talking
That was the
about?
deal. It wasn't supposed to be serious. She took it seriously. I didn't.
Doesn't your family have, like, specific regulations and forms and for deals? Like, it can't just be verbal, you've got to write it down, that sort of thing?
Well, this wasn't done following proper channels, no.
Right, so it wouldn't be valid. I understand entirely too much about, well, I probably don't understand everything. I'm not of your family. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, I have had to deal with Ventrue quite a bit. So that also might be an avenue to pursue. But yes, after I'll tell Ansel to expect your call, and once you've gotten things squared away with there, if Prince is in agreement, we can see about what we can do to find your sire. And if there's any maybe do us a behavioral write-up, that sort of thing. Maybe we can do some legwork in the background to make this easier. I'm sure Prince Sexton would love to know if there is a one of the family around that's in trouble. He's got a soft spot. And
Yeah,
another
I
cold body makes for warm sit. I don't know. That I lost the analogy.
mentioned it to him in a report, so.
Right. Well, is there anything else you need from me? Otherwise, you can enjoy the rest of your time, the VIP booth, etc. We'll probably go make some calls.
I need a little snack. I don't know if you're able to make that sort of specific arrangement for me.
Your family has usually have a particular thing to go after, yes?
Yes.
I won't ask you what it is, but do you think you can find it within the environment of my club or the block?
Probably. I just need eyes on me so things don't get carried away.
Gotcha. I have a room you can lure your snack into so we can keep things nice and contained. That sounds amenable.
So I don't accidentally take more than I'm supposed to.
And then I can do oversight. I have no problems doing.
All right, I appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah.
So Thomas going out hunting with supervision.
Yes, and Benny would pull her top to the side, and you can see that there's a stake jammed down the side of the corset.
Just in case Thomas needs a nap.
Well, in case anyone needs a nap. It was there from the beginning.
All right, Thomas. Are you leaving Malediction to go look, or are you gonna see if you can find something here?
Tom's gonna see if he can find something here.
Hey, what is his palette?
It's a mafia or associates. Preferably associates.
Okay.
Could find groupies here.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me that resolve and awareness. Okay. You want to go with that?
I guess I can try to re-roll that one. No,
Ooh.
did not get any better.
So,
That works.
Thomas is having no luck finding the taste of his preference. But there's plenty to feed on from here. So, will Thomas risk it and then make an attempt to try to keep it down?
What kind of roll is that?
So what it will be is we'll do your hunting roll, and then you will have to make a willpower roll to keep the blood down. And the difficulty for the willpower is equal to your blood potency. Or Bane severity, which is the same.
Okay. Mm,
Or, Bane severity 2, so it's +1. So yeah, it would be a willpower roll after feeding at a difficulty of 2.
that's my leftover willpower, right?
Yes.
We can go elsewhere.
you might go elsewhere, actually.
Alright, so kind of like going like there's nothing here for me. I need to go look somewhere else. Where would Thomas head, and is he taking the sheriff with him? Is she following?
Yeah, he'd prefer if the sheriff came with or followed, however she prefers to.
She will take one look at
Right
Thomas's
for the
car and go, very sweet. But I will drive. You keep your eyes peeled. Point me in a direction. She drives like this really not old, but it's definitely it blends in. It's like a Subaru SUV sort of thing. It's much less distinctive than a f***ing Impala.
Hey, it's his baby. Right, we could do it at the same time.
Listen. At least my Impala never had one of the doors ripped off by a Toreador, right?
All right, yeah, so Thomas will go ahead and ride with the sheriff.
Alright, whereabouts do you think Thomas would try to lead the sheriff to go hunting? One of the slummier areas?
Can we get better hunting now because of our coterie and stuff?
If
Even?
you... Yes, around your coterie haven you would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Thomas is gonna check around the coterie haven.
Alright. That actually... I believe that gives you an extra die. And I will count that into your resolve roll as well.
Okay.
So you can roll your resolve and awareness +1.
Not like me tonight.
It does not like you tonight. But given it's around the haven, we'll say that'll be enough to find somebody that kind of fits the bill. Go ahead and do your hunting roll.
Thomas used to hunt anyway.
Strength, intimidation. Can I use my specialty in the intimidation as well? Okay.
Yeah, the intimidation comes from your predator pool. It would be stupid not to let you use that.
Just making sure. And that includes my hunger roll, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, if Thomas wants some help, Benny has plenty of intimidation and plenty of strength.
Why are you rude?
Why are you rude?
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pick a couple of these.
Burning, what is this, number 4?
3. Number 3.
All right. Making sure.
Right? No. Click.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. There's your baseline. So you will be able to find your prey. Now I need you to make a willpower roll to resist frenzying and draining this guy. So it is going to be your remaining willpower and 1/3 of your humanity.
One-third of my humanity would be 2.
What humanity? Yes. 2.
Okay. That button. Roll.
Yes, buddy.
And no hunger dice, right? Assisting with the brain.
Yep. It's just, this does not include hunger.
Jeez. At least it's not giving you messy. I mean,
I know, at least it's not messy.
Benny, can you give me a resolve and awareness?
I would love to.
Since you're being methodically watching young Thomas here.
Uh-huh.
Just want a little snack. That's all I want.
Wow. Please. Doesn't like me either. See, you're not alone, kid.
I'm like, yo, this bot really just wants to mess with your religion.
It does.
Good grief.
So Benny will see this, but not in time to stop the repercussions of it.
Oh, God.
As you see Thomas kind of clenched onto his victim, and then you see the victim in question go limp. And not like, oh, I'm being fed from limp, like there's no tension in the body as the beast takes Thomas over and drains this guy. Once more, returning our young Mithraean down to a special club.
I tried to take precautions, damn it.
Yeah, so the frenzy is a difficulty 4 out of the book. So you needed a success on every one of those dice to resist frenzying.
But at least we can do cleanup pretty much immediately because Benny always keeps a tarp in her SUV. We're just going to roll that burrito up and call the cleanup coterie as we're going because, well, Benny's kind of in charge of that anyways, and someone clean up the witnesses. So at least it's less legwork to get it cleaned up. Bonus. Oh, yes. And she will tell Thomas that he gets to tell Valentina, that's their shadow's name, yes? Valentina that he had an incident around the Coterie Haven. She'll delegate that one to him.
You know, Thomas, As your ST, I'm willing to make you a deal. I'm going to give you a choice. Option A is going to be Club Zero. Option B, until the next coterie session, your coterie will suffer the penalty of not having that dot to up their hunting rolls near the coterie haven, as you have drawn attention to the area.
Mm.
Oh. That's gonna hurt either way.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to hurt one way or the other.
It's gonna hurt.
Choose the form of your destroyer.
Oh. Oh.
Full month of sessions. Whew. Wait, they just had their session, isn't it? Oh,
It's only about 3 weeks.
yeah, give or take.
Till the next coterie session.
Mm-hmm. Or Club Zero.
Hard one. Which means dealing with Sexton.
There's a good chance of having to deal with Sexton. So it's really like turning to the coterie like, hey guys, I fucked up. I kind of killed somebody around the coterie, and there might be a little bit of more activity around. Or, hey, Prince Sexton and guy in the cult that I'm in, I fucked up and I drained a guy again.
AKA,
Okay.
how devoted are you to your religion?
Are you more loyal to the cult, or are you more loyal to the coterie?
Fuck. Damn it, like I keep flip-flopping which way to go, and
That's why it's called a devil's bargain.
I know. Ah. Thomas is gonna deal with the coterie being mad at him.
All right.
Oh,
Well, Thomas will only take himself down to Hunger 1, thereby not rejoining Club Zero, and the coterie will suffer the penalty of not getting that extra dot hunting around the coterie haven until the next coterie session. But with that,
Benny will still tell Thomas.
Yeah. Benny will note that this individual is probably on the verge of death, but not quite dead.
We'll still load them in the back. Hopefully they'll be drowsy and conscious enough to call in, like, I'll just call in my other part of me, Marana, to do some mind buju to her and to him and send them on their way and get them healed up.
So, didn't kill a guy, but definitely draw attention to the area. Luckily, you had the sheriff with you to make sure there's no mess left behind. And with that,
Yep.
we will let Thomas enjoy the rest of his evening as we draw his solo session to a close.
Still gets to tell Valentina.
Yeah,
Right,
that'll be
yeah.
fun. But
Shall
he
he?
can handle that with a text message.
Okay.